Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much, guys, for your great support. Now, just a quick reminder that if at all we're meeting for the first time, please don't forget to click the subscribe button. Let's talk about this. And let me ask you this question. What is normally the greatest fear of our police officers in this country? Why can't police officers just allow people to do things if it's peaceful demonstration? Why must you inflict force? Why must you bring a lot of like kwa nini lazima kuwe na hiyo mvurugano? Like right now, today is 7th July. Of course, we know very well that there is always this issue of Saba Saba. Now, hii mambo na Saba Saba, as we speak, hakuna gari inatoka Githurai ikienda town. Police officers wameka wire mesh, wameka sengenge, Parliament Road.
A very good morning to you, Ndu, and viewers. I'm currently at Parliament Road, and behind me, it's police have already closed the Parliament Road using razor wire. Remember that this has been the easier target whenever there are demonstrations seeking for democracy and justice. And today being the 36th anniversary of the Saba Saba Day commemoration, the civil society and politicians had already indicated that they be proceeding to Parliament area so that they can hand over a petition to the leadership of Parliament. That is the Speaker of the National Assembly as well as the Speaker of the Senate. But as it stands for now, it seems that it will be a hard nut to crack for them even to try and access the gates of Parliament. From here, I've even witnessed some MPs having a challenge accessing Parliament. Remember, although the National Assembly and the Senate are on recess, there are several committees that are happening right away. But what we've witnessed is that from all these road, that's the Parliament Road, all the way down there, as you go to join the Health Lassie Avenue, it's been blocked, barricaded by the police. Heavy presence of police, of course. I remember that the last time when Gen Zs stormed this building, it was a historical since that this is one of the most protected areas in the country, and this is being replicated even on the other end of the road, and we'll be expecting that if they'll be coming here, then they'll be met by the full force of the law. Remember that the police have already indicated that they are not allowing any processions or any demonstrations in regards to these. So if at all they will manage to come this area, of course, we expect that the police, and these are the red berets, or normally known as the Fanya Fujo Uone, and they are really armed to the teeth, ready for any eventuality.
Kuna police horses hovering around CBD. Now, watu hawataki kuharibu mali ya mtu mwingine. There is nobody who wants to destroy anybody's business. There is nobody who is interested in maybe interfering with anybody. But our police officers have decided to do what they do best, which is causing chaos, which is causing mayhem. Hakuna mwananchi ambaye anaweza tamani kuharibu mali ya umma. Hakuna mwananchi ambaye anaweza taka kuharibu mali ya mtu mwingine. Lakini being that now we have police officers who are not learned, we have police officers whose thinking capacity is very small, and even the CS and the PS, we have to witness such kind of things.
Hapa ni Githurai. Na hapa barabara ilifungwa kutoka 5 kitu 5 hapo 5:10 ilikuwa tayari washafunga. Polisi walikuwa washafunga barabara tayari ikiwa kitu 5 hapo. Walunga hapa ni Githurai. Niko kuna naenda job. Hata hizi gari unaona zinabaye hazipiti Roysambu. Washafunga. Hivyo ndio kuna hapa ni Githurai. Hapa ni Githurai. Hao polisi tu ndio wamefunga. Raia hata kazi hakuna mwenye ako na shida, hakuna vurugu. Ndio hii inafunga vizuri lori yao. Tayari wamefunga kabisa vile hata gari moja itasaidia Roysambu. Washa block. Nasema ni Saba Saba. Hao ndio wameanza maandamano si raia.
So you see where now things escalate. You see where things now become different. This is where now you can't even, like, vitu zinafanyika zenye hata mwenyewe you can't imagine. Why? Because you try looking at the government. Biblia inasema, kwa wale ambao wanajua Biblia inasema kwamba where your heart is, that is where your treasure is. You get it? So if police officers and the government's heart is on killing people, causing chaos, mayhem, you know, the only thing that they think or they see is attacking people. That is exactly what is going to happen. And they'll keep on doing that, without realizing that kuna vitu ambavyo wanafanyia wananchi. Okay, according to them, like according to police officers, kama hawa winaona, what they think is that, unajua tunaleta amani. Tunataka nchi yetu ikuwe na amani, hatutaki kelele. Lakini the real question is, are you really doing that? Do you really think that what you're doing is what is required, or what you're doing is what is needed? That is the question. Do you really think that that which you're doing is what is supposed to be done? Because personally, according to me, I don't think if what you are doing is what is supposed to be done. You get it? Watu wamesema kwamba hawataharibu mali ya watu. They're just doing that Saba Saba thing. Pole tu bila kelele. Lakini nyinyi kama polisi na nyinyi kama serikali, you are saying wacha tuende tuwaumize, tuende tuwafukuze. So the moment umeanza kufukuza mtu, listen to me, the moment umeanza kufukuza watu, that is the moment watu wanaanza kuumia. Na hakuna mtu ambaye anaweza tamani, hakuna mtu ambaye anaweza taka aumizwe na nyamazi, not unless wewe ni mtu mwingine mwenye ajili. A normal human being cannot accept to be mistreated with another person na amenyamaza. People must retaliate. That is something that always happens. Mtu lazima ata retaliate. You can't beat somebody na mtu amenyamaza hivi, wewe nipige tu, dunia gani? Sasa hizi vitu ambazo zinafanyika sometimes with our police officers, with the government, and even with the CSS, there are things that really need to be corrected. Because if they're not corrected, then I think we are going to have a very big problem. We will have very, very big problems in this country. You get it? So I really don't know what you think. I would like to give you a chance at the comment section to tell me what you think concerning what is happening on Saba Saba. Because unaona hizi vitu ndogo zenye serikali, zinaona serikali wanafanya ndio zinawaribia points. These things takes points away from them. Like this one has happened, this one is happening, this one is going to happen. Hizi ndio vitu ambazo zinachukua points kwao. But kwao wao wanaona this is a normal thing. Wao wanaona is just a normal thing, si kitu kubwa, haina, like that is how they see it. Haina maana kubwa, it won't affect us in any way, but it does. It does, tena in a very big way. Because tell me why, wewe polisi, unatoka police station, unaenda town, pale ambapo vijana wako wametulia wanafanya vitu zao, unaenda kuwafukuza. Unadhani hao vijana watanyamaza? No, mnatupa tear gas, sijui mnaua watu. Do you really think that those boys, those Gen Zs, those young men will just fold their hands and look at you like this? It's not going to be possible. They have to talk, they have to speak. So I don't really understand, but I would like to know what you think. Just tell me your thought at the comment section.
And on a normal day, this area will be a buzz of activities. Kenyans trying to access one or two offices, government offices. I remember that this Parliament Road links most of these government offices, including the other end of the Supreme Court. This other end, of course, host the Harambee Avenue, where the offices of the president and the deputy. And this other side, of course, apart from my colleagues from other media houses, there's very minimal activities, and the road, you can see, one might be forgiven to think that it's a holiday or maybe a weekend, but we know that even on weekends there are so many Gen Zs on the ground, but this has really changed. On my left, it's the Holy Family Basilica, and on a normal day you'll find worshippers streaming in and out just to pray, but that has not happened since morning. If my cameraman Cosmas can just shoot some of the activities that are happening on my right, noting that nothing much apart from one or two vehicles which have been allowed to access. And of course, before you enter the CBD, there are several stopovers that have been erected by the police. And when you're coming from Mombasa Road, there is one at Nyayo National Stadium. There is also another one at Nairobi West roundabout. And on the far end of the town, of course, on Ngong Road, there is another one that has been erected. And of course, there was another one at Allsops for those who are using the Thika Road highway. And what we've witnessed is that police are very vigilant, and they are questioning each and every vehicle and border riders. And if they suspect that maybe you have plans to go and cause mayhem around the CBD or maybe disrupt business, then you are not allowed to access the CBD, and they have been turned away. And since that has been happening since morning. These roadblocks were erected since at around 5 a.m. Remember, this was replicated last month when the Gen Zs were marking the second anniversary. That's the June 24th when June 25th when they stormed parliament buildings, and they caused so much mayhem. And if you see what the police have now taken caution, noting that they can't allow such to happen again. And we'll be just keeping in touch here, just waiting to see whether the civil society will be allowed to come across or come near parliament buildings. And remember that the petition that they had indicated that they want to hand over to the leadership of parliament is in regards to the justice that they are seeking for, and the abductions of youths that have been happening across the country. But we doubt whether they will manage to get here. Remember the last time, that's for the 25th, they managed to lay some wreath there, just in commemoration of the youths who were fatally shot here during the June 25th demonstrations that saw Gen Z's storm parliament. And remember, these might be just the Saba Saba day, remembering or commemorating the fight for multi-party democracy in the country that started in 1990. And of course, spearheaded by the late Matiba, Kenneth Matiba, Charles Rubia, and Jaramogi Oginga Odinga. And the three were arrested even before the 1990 July 7th. And the reason why it's called 7/7 is it coincides with the day, the 7th day of July. July being the 7th month, and it was in 1990. And of course, we'll be just waiting to see whether these Gen Zs or the civil societies will come out and demand for what they've been pushing for. And one of the issues that they've been pushing is the stop of abductions. And initially I was at Nairobi West roundabout, where police are still erected that roadblock, and they're still very vigilant, ensuring that no vehicles really pass that roadblock. And so we'll be camping here just to see whether the civil society and of course politicians, the only remaining politicians politicians during those days. You remember his Siaya governor, James Orengo.
Indeed.
And the former member of parliament for Menti, that is Gitobwi Manyara, who have been on the forefront up to now, pushing for democracy and the multi-party, and of course the right for the civil society just to be heard, and their right to be heard. And so that is a police vehicle, and they've been patrolling the CBD.
Thank you.
And what I've also noticed is that most shops have also closed.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's because of the tension, but most shopkeepers have just decided to stay away from the CBD, although they've spotted one or two shops and some hawkers just trying to make a living.
All right, that's